Hell yeah. Wyatt begins in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo! Welcome to Wyatt. And I'm your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans. Grrr, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. Hi. I said hi to all my YouTubers out there. If you like what you hear and if you like what you see, and I know you do, click all of those subscribe buttons at the bottoms of all of your screens. And because I knows you loves me, I know you do, give me some likes. And also, while you're at it, give me some feedback because I like to know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? All right. Today's Wyatt is stupendously special. Our guest is Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison. She is America's first Black female impressionist. Yes, she is. So you want to get ready for a bold and bodacious Wyatt? Well, all right, tune in right now. So without further ado, Wyatt is proud to be in the presence, y'all, of a bona fide trailblazer. She's a freaking big deal. She's an author. She's the first African-American female associate writer for Saturday Night Live. And get this, she's America's first Black female impressionist. So let's give a B&B a bold and bodacious warm welcome to Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison. Talk at me. How the hell are you?
Oh my God, I already know I'm going to love this. I'm well, but thank you so much. I am so impressed with that whole introduction and the energy behind it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm fine, by the way. Mm-hmm.
Listen, you know, Sylvia, it's my pleasure to have you on because back in the day, I used to do stand-up comedy. That's another story. We won't even talk about that. But first, before I proceed, I have to thank attorney Stephen Bullock for connecting us. Yes. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you. So there you go.
He actually told me to tell you hello, too. He knew that I was coming on your show, and he said, be sure to say hello to you.
Oh, he's a good guy. He really is.
He is.
Okay, now listen. Your career in comedy and entertainment has spanned over 50 years. First of all, Sylvia, how do you feel about your longevity and success, and how have you survived and thrived?
Wow. You know what, Wyatt? Back then, when I first started, I never dreamed that one day I would be able to say I have 55 years in the comedy industry and the entertainment industry. I never even thought that would be a statement I'd make. And especially since in the beginning, for a woman of color,
right?
It was a tough road. It was a tough road. It was bad, but it ended up being wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. So yeah.
I love it. And we're going to really dig deep in your career a little bit later. But I have to ask you this for right now. Would you do one celebrity impression for us?
Sure. As a matter of fact, who is he? Oh, Whoopi Goldberg. Come here. It's the Wyatt podcast. It's him. It's the real one. It's the real Wyatt. Come on.
I love it.
Well, let me say this. Hello, Wyatt, and how are you? I'm happy. I can't tell you how excited Sylvia is because she's been talking about this for a while, and we're trying to get her on The View. We are. But thank you for first bringing her here. So there you have it. And I got to run. I got to get over to ABC.
I just know you do, Whoopi, and thank you so much.
ABC, CBS, somewhere.
That is great. Okay, sure. Now, listen, you have a truckload of accomplishments, which, like I said, we're going to really dig deep a little bit later, but I need to mention some of them. First of all, you replaced Richard Pryor in a hosting job. Then you hosted Roast of the Champ for Muhammad Ali at the legendary Apollo Theater. You became an associate writer for Saturday Night Live. At Whitney Houston's exclusive request, the iconic diva, you became her opening act for her The Greatest Love World Tour in over 23 cities. You joined comedian Monique's Las Vegas residency for 5 years, during which George Wallace spotted her in action, and invited you to do his show. You perform with other entertainers, including Leno and Letterman, and Gladys Knight, and Robin Williams, and Jeffrey Osborne, and Jerry Seinfeld, and Shaka Khan, Rosie O'Donnell, and Dick Gregory. And to top it off, Red Fox was your first manager. All I got to say is, girlfriend, you are more than just a bag of chips, 2 bags of chips and a Pepsi. So what do you think about that?
Wyatt, you are the best. I mean, you are just the best. I'm serious. You got me up here wanting to meet this girl named Sylvia. I'm listening to you and I'm going, oh, wait a minute, that was me. That was me.
It is you.
I often think about some of those times, and it just blows my mind. I mean, the whole Whitney Houston thing, I have so many stories on the Whitney Houston tour. I have so many stories about the Muhammad Ali roast where Dick Gregory invited me to replace Richard Pryor because Richard called that day and said he couldn't make it. And, it was the day of the roast. And one of the girls I went to Europe with to entertain the American troops of the Vietnam War recommended that Dick Gregory call me in, and he didn't even ask questions because she said it, and he knew that we'd been on tour for 5 weeks in Europe. He figured she's seen a lot. She knows what the Sylvia girl can do, and he brought me in, and it was amazing because it was Muhammad Ali. He was in his prime. When I tell you, when they brought him down on the stage and I looked to see him, and Wyatt, I'd never seen a man like that. I'd never seen a man that well put together, that built, that stoic, that bomb. He was Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, he was.
God, it was such an honor, And then I was on the stage with all of his roasters, and I got to tell you this. Harry Belafonte was one of the people that was roasting him. And by the way, I had to meet everybody so I could get their story. So I could, as the host, I'd have to introduce them. I didn't have a script or anything. So when Harry Belafonte, there was Harry, it was Fred Williamson, it was Jim Brown, all these ball players and stars. But I gotta admit, when I had to introduce Harry Belafonte, the only thing I could think of was daylight come and we wanna go home. I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And then, it was that night at the roast that when the roast was over, Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live came over to me and he said, oh my God, you got to meet my boss. Because the impressions I was doing then, Wyatt, I was doing Tina Turner. The impression killed every other. That's what brought Whitney Houston to me. Diana Ross. Because in the beginning, there were no black girls that I could do. There were no black women, rather, that I could do impressions of because they were so very few. So I did mostly white girls. I did Jane Hathaway from the Beverly Hillbillies. Mr. Clopin, Jumper, Illinois. I don't know if you...
Oh, my God. That is so on point. Listen. Do Tina.
Well, here's what Tina would do. And I can't remember a show where it didn't bring a standing ovation. I just can't. And that, like I said, that's what brought Whitney, because the music itself, dun 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 dun, and I'd be doing my Tina Turner steps, and then I'd go, every now and then, I think you might like to hear me do something nice and easy, but we don't do anything nice and easy. We always do them nice and rough. And I'm telling you, it was mostly white people. Now, you got to understand, all my audiences were all white because black people hadn't started coming out to doing comedy, all that other kind of stuff. But at the end of that song, everybody would be on their feet. And I was so
Oh,
humbled by it because I was just a little young woman from Washington D.C. from and I got thousands. Like with Whitney, we had audiences like 37,000 people. Nobody knows me. Nobody knew me, rather, especially at the time. Nobody knew what, and then to come out and garner a standing ovation
yeah, yeah,
was a big deal. It was a big
yeah.
deal. It really, even I can say that now. I didn't understand at the time how big of a deal it is. You're on the stage, and I do a Tina Turner, and here comes Garrett Morris telling me that his boss would love to meet me, and he took me to NBC to meet Lauren Michaels, and he hired me on the spot as an associate writer. On the spot. Never saw me do nothing, just based on what he'd heard.
That's heady stuff. Listen, I'm from Washington, D.C. too, so we're like kindred spirits already.
All right,
Hmm.
really?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Where'd you
Oh,
grow up, if I can ask?
oh, sure. Far northeast, not far from Landover.
Okay. Cool.
Now, on April 19th, y'all, April 19th at 2 and 7:30 p.m., you, my dear, have a significant performance at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Give us the full 1-1 and how can we score tickets?
Well, first of all, I'm so excited about that because Steve Bullock, the attorney that you've interviewed, is the executive director.
Right.
And I'd met him a year or two ago. And to make a really long story short, he said, Sylvia, I can't keep talking about you. We need to see you. We need to do something where your hometown can come and see you. So he said, what do you think about performing at the Kennedy Center? And when you say the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., it's huge. It's
Yeah.
like, who goes to perform at the Kennedy Center? Well, the best of the best. It's a performing arts theater.
Absolutely.
And I had the blessing and the honor to fall in the footsteps of some of the greatest entertainers that's ever appeared anywhere in the world. And they're letting me use their stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So I thank Steve for even coming up with the idea. And if you go to the Kennedy Center's website and look at April 19th, you'll see me. You'll see me. You'll see my picture and how to buy tickets and where to secure them and all of that. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with myself.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
And I'll be home too. DC's our home.
Right. It's
So,
our home.
I'm sure a lot of people that I probably know will hopefully come out to see the show because I got it. I have it so planned. I can't wait. I really can't. So.
And I think it's going to be filmed. So y'all be dapper and be grand because your asses are going to be on camera. You know what I'm saying? Look,
That's right.
your butts are going to be on camera and you want to look good. Listen, this is probably an international audience and you do not want to look like a hot mess. So
Exactly.
be prepared.
Yeah, we're also doing my comedy special that night, in addition to a portion of my biography and having, so there'll be taping. There'll be taping that night.
Cool.
Documentary. That's what I was trying to say. The good part of my documentary. Yeah, I said biography.
So when do you think you'll have that completed, the documentary?
I think the documentary should, of course, the comedy special will be done that night because
Right.
I'm doing the special. I don't think that documentary is going to finish until towards the end of the year. Because
Okay.
there's so much stuff, so many people. We have to go and visit Monique. We have to see George Wallace. We have to see all these people so that they can, tell their story of Sylvia. And the ones that can't, they're sending in videos. I cried on a couple of them because I didn't know people saw me like that. I was in tears. And Monique is actually on tour with Cat Williams, so she won't be able to make the event.
Right.
But she sent me the most incredible. The video is like watching a show. She sent me a video talking, and I keep looking at it. I'm like, wow, Monique, thank you, thank you, just thank
Oh,
you.
you must, when that documentary comes out, you have got to come back here
Okay.
and we need to talk about it. Listen, when is this, where will we be, where and when will we be able to see the special?
Um, that I don't know the exact dates because they have to walk it in, and the network has to approve everything that's in it, and it's quite a bit. But I would suggest, like you said, in terms of what to wear, I'd be sharp. I would be sharp because they're going to be interviewing people, and it's a really big deal, Wyatt. I'm so excited. I hope. Are you coming?
Yes. Look, look. Yes. Yes. What network is the special going to be on?
We don't know yet. We
Oh, okay.
probably,
Got it.
it's probably going to be Netflix because here's the deal. Here's the deal. There are no other black female impressionists that have done an actual comedy special for them as
True.
of yet.
Right.
And based on the words that I'm getting is that it's a different concept that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not just coming out, ladies and gentlemen, here's Sylvia Traymore Morrison. There's no. But I can't tell you guys because I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to ruin it for people that are going to be there live. I
Got it.
think they're coming to the Kennedy Center. They're going to be dressed nice. They're going to be looking good on camera. And I want to see faces like this. That's what I want to see. So I can't. I want to tell you, but I can't. I want to tell you, but I can't. I can't.
That's okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Look, okay, you were born in Washington, D.C., right?
Mhm.
I always like to ask my guests this question because I get a real big chuckle out of it. What was Sylvia like as a little girl? Give us like three characteristics or attributes that best describe you.
You know what? I know that Sylvia kind of always knew she was going to be in the business. I could, as a
Ah,
child, I could hear the flapping of butterfly wings. I could tell you when a bumblebee was on its way. Not only could I hear it, I could repeat what I heard. I could do that. And so I was quiet. I didn't talk. I
really?
hardly ever talked. I
Interesting.
was so quiet. And my dad used to always say, well, you're making up for it now. And I was a sweet little girl. I didn't know
Mm,
that at the time, but I really was. And I would gather all the kids when I got to be about 6 or 7, 8 years old. I'd gather all the kids in the neighborhood because in Washington, D.C., in the area that I grew up in Northwest downtown
right.
D.C., 12 blocks from the White House.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now that sounds big, but it was not. It was not big. If people knew what it was like living down there, we could walk up to the corner White and there's the White House right there, 12 blocks down the street. You could see it. No
Wow.
pretty trees, none of that. There's the White House. And I remember as a kid, I would say, I wonder how come their children don't come outside to play because we didn't understand the concept of what the White House was or is.
Ah, okay.
Greatest house in the world. But
Right.
we never saw any children, so we didn't bother to go down there to go in their yard. We were not going to play with them. They don't want to come outside. We're not doing it.
Uh-huh.
So, but other than that, I was pretty much the child at my elementary school that each year I would be the person they use. We do a play or something for the school each class, and
Uh-huh.
each year I'd be the person that they pick because they knew I had a strong voice. I could do stuff. I could say things. I could make things happen. I could do all that stuff. So but I was quiet.
You're okay. It's hard for me to, okay, got it. So, why an impressionist? Why did you zero in on that?
That is you know what, that might be my favorite question I've
Hmm.
ever been asked. And I'm glad you asked it so I can answer it. Um, I was really a singer.
Oh, wow.
I,
Okay.
I belonged to a little singing group. We were young, I named the group. I was in charge.
Yeah,
So I
okay.
thought, so I thought I was in charge and I called our group, the name of our group was the Supremes.
Okay.
And people said, no, 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 you can't be the Supremes. There's already a Supremes. But I'd started loving Diana Ross so much that I didn't care. I wanted me, my sister, and the other girl, we were the Supremes. We would stop in the name of love. So what happened is one of the girls, we ended up having 4 girls in the group, but one of them went to Texas and got married very young, and that just tore our group up. So I said, well, I'll just be a solo singer. But then what? I started seeing these girls singing. They were beautiful, built and long, pretty hair and just gorgeous. And at that time, I didn't see myself as a looker. I'm not going to compete with these. I said, wait a minute. Do I want to sing or I do want to do imitations? Which one do I want to do? So I said, well, nobody's doing imitations. I'm going to that route. But in the meantime, in the background, I could sing because I could sing like other people. I could sing like Diana Ross. I could sing like Cher. I could sing like Dionne Warwick. I could sing like everybody. So when I started doing backyards and living rooms and stuff, because I had no platform at the time, I would do that, and people would be mesmerized. They would go, "How do you do that?" I don't know. I hear the voice in my head and I repeat it the way I hear it. Because I remember seeing Diana Ross, and the first thing I said was, she hunches her shoulders up and then she gets it going and she's, ooh, baby love, and all of them I would just be able to do. And that was not my full impression of Diana Ross, by the way. That was a little, just put it out there.
Well, that leads me to 2 questions. First of all, early on, you understood the business of the business in entertainment, because what you did was you found a niche that nobody really was in, and you went for it.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because, and I tell this story a lot when I'm in interviews and so forth, they'll say, well, when did you start doing what you do on a professional level?
Right.
Well, like I said, I had no platforms, but I saw these girls on the Flip Wilson show. And they were Black girls. Oh my God, I was so proud of them. They were so, just classy and gorgeous. And I said, ooh, that's me. So I entered the pageant, and it was the Miss Black America pageant.
Oh, okay.
And to make a very long story short again, I ended up tying for first place with Bernadette Stannis, who is Thelma from Good Times. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And while I was over there, and I'm sorry, I'm so excited to be here with you. I forgot the question.
Oh, no. Actually, no. You're good. My second question was, do you have a creative process? Do you have like a training technique to prepare yourself as an impressionist?
No. You know what happens? Let's say, like the other day, I was listening to Fantasia, who I love. I love Fantasia. And all of a sudden, something in my mind said, well, add Fantasia to your show. And I'm like, okay. Well, let me see if so what I do is I'll go to somebody and say, who does this sound like? And they'll say, that's Fantasia. Every once in a while, they'll throw somebody in there that they know daggone well that's not who that is. Don't play. But they say it anyway.
Okay.
So in answer to finalize that question, I don't have a process. I think God just gives it to me. I think He gives me the people He wants me to imitate, because I can't do everybody. I can't. Maybe if they gave me time, a couple months or something like that, I could. But it's the people that I know right off the break I can do that end up becoming a real big part of my show.
As an impressionist, Sylvia, it's more than just mimicking or imitating a voice, right? It's the whole persona.
Yes.
Like the movement of shoulders and hand motions or whatever.
Yes. It is. You're right. That's 100% correct. Because you can't, I've seen impressionists and they just stand there and do the voice.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I want to bring the person to you. I want you to think you're seeing that person. You know, when I first started doing Donna Ross, my hands always went up. You know, I like to portray who it is. I like to bring up all their antics and the noses and the mouth and the eyes and the way they hold their head. You know, Dionne Warwick, there's a whole lot. And she'll look out and say a few words to you before she sings her song. And it's like, sometimes I'm impressed, sometimes, not all the time. But I'll listen and I'll laugh at myself. And I'll go, oh my God, this sounds just like so-and-so or so-and-so.
Aha. Okay. In 1969, your first professional performance, Sylvia, was at Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
What was that like? Did the performance consist entirely of impressions? And afterwards, what did you learn about yourself?
That's a really good question. When we went to Constitution Hall in 1969, I didn't know how big that was. I just didn't know. I just know. And I was in my singing group and we were performing. I forgot what the occasion was, but, we got out there on the stage and this has always been part of my gift, I guess I could say. We were supposed to sing 2 songs at Constitution Hall, but I turned it into a show. I'm in the background and we're singing, I think it was something by the Intruders.
Okay.
I forgot the song. We had 2 songs we wanted to. And I broke out and started doing Cher. I think it was Cher. I forgot the name of the song, golly, but anyway, yeah. And to do Cher, it was kind of like unusual because, at that time, I think the Black audiences had started coming around, but we all knew Cher. We knew who she was. She had the Sonny and Cher show, and no matter where I went, if I did Cher, everybody loved it. They just loved it, and at the end of the show, people were like, especially the 2 girls in the group, they said, "Oh my God, thank you for doing that. You made it spectacular." And I was like, wow, maybe I should always do these impressions whenever I get in front of a microphone, because it worked. It worked.
And that's the only thing that matters is that it works. The audience is happy and you're satisfied.
And why, you know what? It was like, this is my take, when you're performing in front of an audience, I'm almost in tears. And you look out and you see them mesmerized and just excited, paying attention. Everybody is quiet. They're watching you. And this is funny. But for me, it's like, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. I feel like it. But it's also rewarding and it humbles you. That I remember, I think Whitney had about 13,000 people one night up in Canada. And it was an amazing show. It was so wonderful. Canadians, I thought they were all French speaking, right? So I had someone to teach me my entire set in French.
Wow.
Because I wanted to connect with them. So I get out on the stage and I go, "Bonjour, monsieur, mademoiselle, comment allez-vous aujourd'hui?" I'm speaking my French. And then I said, "Oh my God, I done forgot my whole set in French." And the audience bust out laughing. "What? You guys speak English?" They were like, they started clapping, right? So I said, "Oh my God." So it's been some of those nights. I mean, there's some stories that have gone on down through the years that have made me proud that I made that decision to do impressions instead of being a singer. I'm not saying things wrong with singing, but for me, that was key.
Well, this is what your niche is. You can do all kinds of comedy, I know, but
Yeah.
this is your niche. This is where you feel the most comfortable, and you're just being very practical,
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's almost like I do stand up bits with my impressions. I do comedy, but it's like I think the audiences, first of all, they ain't never seen no black woman on stage doing a whole bunch of impressions. You see Jay Farrell, you see Tommy Davidson, you see all the wonderful, wonderful impressionists, but where are the girls? What happened to the women? And I'm pleased to say nowadays I've seen about 3 or 4 different black women doing impressions now, and it blesses my heart because I figured there's no way in the world I'm the only one, but I was. And it was almost like God saw to it that he didn't give me anything to worry about. I didn't have to worry about competition. I didn't have to worry about whether or not somebody did an impression better than me. It was for the first 45, 50 years, it was a straight Sylvia action, period.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Okay, you were the first African American female associate writer for Saturday Night Live. What challenges, Sylvia, did you face with being the first?
What challenges did I face?
Yeah.
Um, First of all, it's funny because I didn't even know what I was supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
When Mr. Michaels offered me the job, they never gave me a plan or, I didn't get a dressing room. I was never invited into the writer's room. So what they did the first night I was there, I invited some of my friends because I wanted them to see me and just 4 people. But I was so excited. And that's when Saturday
Big
Night
deal.
Live was the bomb. It was like,
Yeah.
so I got a note saying, you're assisting Bob Hope's wife and Linda Ronstadt.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm thinking I need to write material for both of them.
Hmm.
So I wrote material for Mrs. Hope. The last name is Hope. You can do so much with the word hope.
Yeah.
You can make it funny, you can make it sad. So I did a bit for her. And then Linda Ronstadt's a singer.
Hmm.
So I wrote a song that involved the word hope for both of them in case they were out on stage together. It was the bomb. It was wonderful. And so I didn't get to do a lot on Saturday Night Live because that writers' room was thick. It was tough. It was tough. But I could have cared less because I was in the house. I was
Yeah.
there. I was in the house. So they could have had me just standing there looking around. I'd have been okay because I was official. I was in there. So
Hmm. You had the title.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. And it didn't. They
Mm.
didn't uh, include me on a lot of things, but the
Hmm.
fact that I was there gave me a whole wide range of whatever. And then when they found out that I was a smart writer, it's not like I had all week to prepare to write for these two. I didn't have the whole week to get down. No, I had that night. That night, they assigned
Pressure.
me to those two.
That's pressure.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, this is what I want to talk about, Sylvia. I want to talk about Whitney Houston. She's my all-time favorite. She's the iconic diva. Tell us about the Greatest Love World Tour. Tell us, tell us.
And here's another thing, Wyatt.
Mm,
It was Whitney Houston. What happened was I was at home one night and I was playing
okay.
spades with some friends, the card game spades, Dirty Hearts, whatever you call it. And I get a call from Dimensions Unlimited. I don't know if you remember them or not, but
I sure do. The promoters, they used to
yes,
do
yes,
radio
yeah.
commercials, all that stuff. Okay.
But they had one girl, Gwen, who had left Dimensions Unlimited and opened up her own promoters
No.
event. So she called me up, and I'm sitting at home with rollers in my hair, the friends, just doing nothing. And she says, Sylvia, Whitney Houston's in town, and the guy who is supposed to be here is not here. Can
Oh.
you come and open for Whitney? So I said, okay. She said, it's 20 minutes to 8. The show starts at 8 o'clock.
What?
It was
Wait
20
a
minutes to 8. And they knew the pressure that was. So they said, if you can get here in that time, we'll show y'all things. So I get up, I snatch the rollers out of my hair, I jump into a cab, and I head down to the Warner Theater. That's where she was.
Right.
And I walked on the stage at 8:03. So after the show, I got two or three standing ovations. I got them. And Whitney says to me, she says, you know what? Want to go on the road? I'm going to take you with me. Now, why? This Whitney Houston. She knows she's not going to take me on no road for her to. She knows this. But I was, and she was so beautiful. When I tell you, when that woman stepped in front of me, we all know she's gorgeous or whatever. TV does nothing for her beauty. Nothing. I was almost embarrassed because I was staring at her so hard. I was staring at that woman, and I was intaking what she was saying, and it was such a compliment that she even said that she would take me on the road. So I was like, really? She says, yeah, I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna do it. So about 6 months later, I hadn't heard from her, and to myself, I kept saying I knew she wasn't gonna call. I don't even know why I got excited.
Right.
And then one day, the phone rang, and it was her dad. And he said, Sylvia, Whitney wants to know, can you be in New York tonight to open her show?
Tonight?
The guy that they picked up from, I guess, was American Idol, one of those shows. She wants you. So I said, really? He said, how soon can you get here? And this is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The show started in New York that night at 8 o'clock. I started walking. Boom, boom, boom. No, I didn't walk to New York. I'm just saying. But I got on a flight. I was there at 10 minutes to 8. I was there.
Wow, you cut it close.
And she said, see, she told everybody, see, I told you, Sylvia would do it. And she'd do it right. And after the first night, it went so well. Wow. And then I didn't know it was him at the time, but Clive Davis walked to me and said, we'll let you know if you're going to continue with the tour. We'll let you know. Continue with the tour. Whitney said I was going to be on the tour, but I couldn't say that to him. I couldn't. I didn't even know it was him, so it wouldn't have mattered at the time. But he came back later and said, "You're in." So I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." And that started it. I ran around and hung out with her. Not just toured with her. I was hanging out. We were going places doing stuff.
Girl.
Me and my girl, Whitney Houston, going shopping together, going to restaurants, eating and all that other stuff. It was amazing. It was a lifetime memory for me.
Sylvia, as one of my friends would say, girl. Look, he would say, girl.
I love it. Love it.
Okay, listen, wow. You've received so many accolades and awards over the years, including an honorary doctorate degree. In 2013, you received the Living on Laughter Gospel Comedy Association Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2017, the Maya Angelou Lifetime Achievement Award at the Indie Author Legacy Awards.
Yes.
And then the Living Icon Award at the 2021 Comic Rocks Convention. Now look, don't go breaking your hand, patting yourself on the back. But this is some big deals here.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Sometimes when I think about all the stuff, all of it, it takes me to tears, because when you start saying names like Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Muhammad Ali, Whitney Houston, Saturday Night Live, Monique, George Wallace, when you start, and I'm thinking, these people thought so much of me that they wanted me in their space. They wanted me in their space. I'm not sure if that wouldn't humble anybody. It's like I feel like I'm so thankful. I want to thank God like every chance I get because it's just big. And I don't know why this is sitting here, but I'm gonna show it to you. I don't know why. This is a book called. I really didn't even. I wasn't even planning on showing you this. It's
I'm glad
called
you did.
Comedians Laugh Be Lady. But what they did, Wyatt, they put me in this book amongst people like Mary Tyler Moore. They what they were saying is, just it was incredible. What they were saying is, I was with those same women, and the only reason why they were able to put me with them is because I was right there doing everything that they were doing. It's just that I didn't have television.
Right.
I didn't have television, and I'm mad because I can't really put my finger on it right now as I'm looking at this book. But they had like six Carol Burnett, just those women, and then they had Sylvia Traymore Morrison. So I called the author and I said, I just wanted to ask you why did you put me in that category? And she stamped it again. She said, Miss Sylvia, you were rolling right with them. You were doing everything they did. You just didn't get the coverage. You didn't get the TV. You didn't get the movie. You didn't do that. But she says, one day you will. And people are going to find out about you. And just by you asking that question just now, it's like, how do I feel? People are starting to talk about me now. They're starting. I'm getting calls from all kinds of places. And I think, thank you. And I believe that once this Kennedy Center thing takes off and the special comes out of it, and I can't even announce who the potential people that are going to come to that to honor me that night, because then everybody's going to want to get tickets. They're going to think that they're performing, and they're coming to
To pay homage
say
to
thank
you.
you to me. And it's a big deal. Why is such a big deal? It's like, I'm sorry, excuse me, but
No,
it is. It's
no.
just such a. It's like I'm so thankful.
It is a big deal. I mean, I'm just blown away, and seriously, and you know, speaking of books, you are an author. You're an author. You're an authoress. You're an author.
Yeah.
And yes, your first book is titled Almost There, Almost, The Many Faces of Sylvia Traymore Morrison. It chronicles your first 30 plus years in the biz. So what compelled you to write it, and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, what compelled me was I was doing so many interviews. After you do something with Whitney Houston, and it's not, as you know, I didn't just do a show with her. I hit the road with her. I was
Yeah.
hanging out with her every day. And so whenever I'd get a television interview or a radio interview, local or whatever, they would ask me a lot of the same questions. And I said, you know what? I'm going to write a book and tell people what it was like for me these years. And so I think it was released in 2010.
Okay.
And since then, a whole nother life has happened with respect to the entertainment industry. The whole Monique residency thing, and the George
Right.
Wallace walking in, and here you got this one and that one coming over here and doing that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if people know this, but Andy Evans wrote a play entitled, he won what is the name of the award? He won this big award and for writing, and he wrote a play for me entitled Moms Mabley, The Return
Right.
of Jackie Moms Mabley. Yeah. And what I do, which is one of the favorite things I do in all my career, I highlight and imitate and bring back 8 different divas,
Wow.
including Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Josephine Baker, Nancy Wilson. It's 8 of them, and I do impressions of all of them. That's a wonderful play.
Amazing.
It's a wonderful play.
See, you are the multi-hyphenate. Listen, yes, you is, darling. Look, darling. Darling, you are the entertainment multi-hyphenate.
That is so funny. That is so cool. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get serious for a second. I'm gonna ask you this question. What makes you funny?
Um, I think what makes me funny is I turn into people. I don't just do the impressions. I become them. I become them on stage, and people laugh. You know, when I'm doing Wendy Williams, it's like I don't even get a chance to finish doing the daggone Wendy Williams because they're laughing. I'm going, oh my God, okay, okay, okay. So let me ask you this. Let me do. Well, first of all, how you doing? You know, it's the hands, it's the head, it's the arms, it's the I become them, and people laugh as soon as they see it. I think that's what makes it funny.
You have nailed her. I mean, it's like boom, boom, boom. You nailed her.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, let me ask you, where can we get copies of your books? Because you have 3 books. You've written 3 of them, I believe. Would you
And
give us the titles of each one of them?
the first one, like you said, was is
Mhm.
almost there, almost. And then my second book was inspired by Whitney after she died. Um, it's a wonderful story, and I don't want to tell it to you now because I do tell it. I will tell it at the Kennedy Center. It's a
Oh, okay.
wonderful story, but it's entitled "Jelly Beans from Heaven." And the
Mm,
story behind it, I have people waiting in line after shows. Number one, to buy the book, and number two,
good.
to ask me, do I think that's really true? What I talk
Oh,
about, and they say, if that's true, Sylvia, oh my God, it's like I have so much inspiration behind it. So Whitney inspired me to write Jelly Beans from Heaven.
okay.
And although my autobiography sells really well, they all, when they hear the Jelly Beans from Heaven story, they buy both books. They just do. They can't leave out without buying both books because the Jelly Beans story is absolutely incredible. And the third one I wrote because I had COVID.
Oh,
When COVID was killing people,
right.
I was sick as, oh my, it was so demonic. It was so bad that the minute I got well, I said, I have to tell people what happened to me
Right.
during this period. And I think I went online one night and I did a live video and read a part of it. And all of a sudden everybody started buying it. They just started, they want a copy. So now when I go do shows and I have my books there, they want all 3 of them. And I'm like, God, you just thank you. And I think he does that for me because I think he says, you worked hard. You really have.
You have.
You went against all the odds, all of them, and you hung in there.
And you stuck with it. You stuck with it. I remember watching a PBS show maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and there was this white woman. She was in her, I think she was like between 83 and 85. I can't remember, Sylvia, what she was known for, but she said she became famous at 80.
Wow.
So it's never too late.
I believe that because I don't know how this is going to sound, but I'm soaring right now. I'm soaring. I got folks from everywhere coming around. Where have you been? I had a call. You may remember this, Wyatt. I got a call from this guy. I could tell he's like a Jewish guy. He
Mhm.
calls me up and he says, Sylvia, we've been trying to find you now for like 6 weeks. And he said, do you remember Rich Little? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course. He was an impressionist. He's the only impressionist I knew at that time, other than there were about 2 or 3 of them. But Rich was like the man. He did all the presidents. He
Hmm.
went on Johnny Carson all the time. Johnny loved him, and he said, "We're doing a documentary on Rich Little, and you're the only
Oh.
black woman we could find who knows about that era, and we'd like to
Oh,
include you on the documentary."
wonderful.
And I said, "Ooh." He said, "And also we have Carl Burnett." Look, why? Here go me.
You,
you know.
you in
So
good
yeah,
company. You in good company.
yeah. And it's those
Wow.
kind of calls that are coming in, and I'm so happy.
I am so glad. I am so pleased to have met you because there's so much positive energy.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know,
Oh, 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 oh. You asked me where they could get the book.
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
they're on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off just now, because
No,
you were about to say something that I know was going to bless my heart. But Amazon has them, and if they want a signed copy, I can. If they contact me through social media,
mhm.
I'll have the book sent to you. It's a signed copy. I'll sign it and send it to you. All three of they're all $30, and I'd be happy to send
So
whoever would like one a book. Yes.
cool. Now, what more do you want us to know about your April the 19th at 2 and 7:30 p.m., your performances at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C.?
I would like for people to know that not only can you buy a ticket, but if you have a business, or even if you don't, and you'd like to be a sponsor, we have a deck with sponsorships on them. It's on my Facebook and Instagram pages, which also the packages include a couple of free tickets, depending on which level of the sponsorship you'd like to go to, and it tells you where to send it and what to do. Because I said, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. And so you have one lady the other. I think we have 6 box area office seats, and she said, I want that one. I want that one. And I said, it's okay. And she said, yeah, I want it right now. I want to make sure nobody buys those tickets. And so she went ahead and got her. So we have sponsorships, and of course I want everybody to come, even if you don't do a sponsorship. Just come, buy a couple tickets for you and yours, and come see me.
I
And I'm
mean,
going to promise you a wonderful evening.
you know what? Your performance in April is going to be better than like 10 bags of chips and 10 Pepsis. So, I mean,
Why? Wait a minute. I can tell you used to be a comedian. Now I'm getting it. I'm seeing it. Yes.
so I mean, that's just the way it is. As Walter Cronkite would say, that's just the way it is, you know.
Come here. Yes.
Oh God. But in all seriousness, I want to thank you so much for stopping by, Wyatt. I mean, really, you are
Thank you.
sensational. You're just wonderful. And you're Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison. Yeah.
I
Oh
have
wow.
thoroughly enjoyed it. You talk about my energy. You are so perfect for this, for what you do. You have the smile, you have the whole the vibe, and you know how to treat a guest, and I appreciate that. And you know all of your homework. You've done all, because I noticed that when I watched Steve Book on your show. I said,
Mhm.
wait a minute, this white guy, he knows everything. He knows
This white guy.
what is going on. Why podcast is getting ready to just wait till the whole world sees you.
That's right.
That's right.
But you know what? I really appreciate that. And I'm going to leave you with this. Tito, give me a tissue, Tito. She said such wonderful things about me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And it's all true. It's
Oh,
all
thank
true,
you.
every bit of it. So
Thank you.
thank you for having me. I appreciate you. I really do.
And I want you to come back.
Okay. All right. I would love to come
Mhm.
back. I really would. Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you
And in
so
the words
much.
of Monique, hey, Wyatt, how you doing, my baby? Let me say something to you, sugar. Let me just say this right now. You the bomb, boo. You the bomb.
Monique, oh my God. Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mwah.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah. So, y'all, there you have it. You can find the official Wyatt podcast page at WyattEvans.com, the go-to destination for LGBTQ plus news, features, commentary, and entertainment. WyattEvans.com is visited by more than 100 countries on the regular. All I can say to that is, hey, baby, And at WyattEvans.com, you'll find my Smoking Hot, HAWT Hot, Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. And as you just saw on the top, the newest installment is called Shattered. I said Shattered. And y'all, Shattered is full of action, danger, intrigue, sexually charged situations, passion, and all of the wonderful elements that you're used to in the Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. So get your new copy of Shattered. Now you can follow me, your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans, all across social media, and poof, is right there for you to peruse, like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any comments or whatever, you can hit me up at wyattonair@gmail.com. So until next time, y'all, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. I said woof.